Our top story tonight, a sentencing hearing for a soldier convicted in a Fort Stewart shooting is now in recess after a new claim was brought up in court today. WSAV's Evan Smoke has been in the courtroom each day of the proceedings and has the latest.
A busy day in court Monday ended without a sentence for Sergeant Cornelius Radford, who was convicted of 6 offenses of attempted murder last Thursday. Radford was found guilty in connection to a shooting that injured 5 fellow soldiers in August 2025 on the Fort Stewart Army base. Monday's proceedings began with the judge denying a motion from the defense that would have reduced Radford's sentence by up to an additional 380 days. The prosecution recalled multiple witnesses to the stand, including all 6 individuals shot at that day. Many of them shared that following the incident, they are apprehensive of crowds and have lost their trust in people. 2 testified that they are due to be medically discharged from the Army because of the injuries in the shooting. During the defense's rebuttal, a surprising piece of information was revealed. Upon cross-examination of Radford's family and friends, the prosecution asked them if they knew that Radford was accused of threatening to shoot up his school in 2013. The defense objected to this new information being entered into the record. The judge ordered a recess. This will allow both sides to submit their arguments on whether he should allow the 2013 allegation to be permissible in court, despite Radford being a minor at that time. Court proceedings are scheduled to resume at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Reporting from Fort Stewart, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The man accused of causing a deadly DUI crash that killed an Effingham County man has now entered a not guilty plea. Prosecutors say that Davy Jansasoy caused the crash that killed Michael Danny Sharp last month. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree homicide by vehicle, 1 related to an alleged DUI and another to reckless driving. Jury selection is now expected to take place later this year. No trial date has been set. The next hearing is scheduled for September 2nd, when the court will take up pretrial motions. Meanwhile, in Chatham County, a man is behind bars after a deadly hit and run on Wilmington Island. According to the Georgia State Patrol, 51-year-old Robert Herford is accused of hitting a person riding a bike on Wilmington Island Road on Sunday night and then leaving the scene. Troopers say Herford later reported the crash to authorities, who determined he had been drinking before the collision. He is now charged with vehicular homicide, driving under the influence, and hit and run. New tonight, a golf cart crash on St. Simon's Island left 1 person hurt earlier this week, but police say it could have been a lot worse. According to the Glynn County Police Department, officers and first responders were called out to reports of a serious golf cart crash. When crews arrived to this scene, they found 1 person with injuries who was taken to a hospital but only had minor injuries. Police say just about 15 minutes before this, an officer had actually stopped the same cart for people not wearing seatbelts. They say that quick traffic stop may have made a difference when the cart later lost control. Everyone had their seatbelts on, though the exact cause is still under investigation. Savannah police are searching for the person responsible for a weekend shooting that left 1 man hospitalized. Officers were called to East 65th Street around 1:30 Saturday morning. When they arrived, they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to a hospital for treatment, and so far, no arrests have been made. The investigation remains active. Meanwhile, the Effingham County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding this man. Donald Stokes, known to many as DJ, is wanted on active warrants for trafficking, controlled substance, possession of a firearm during commission of a crime, and possession of tools for commission of a crime. If you see him or know where he may be, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office. Summer is officially underway, and safety officials say it also marks one of the most dangerous stretches of the year for teen drivers. WSAV's Jillian Coles explains why AAA is shifting its focus from the 100 Deadliest Days of Summer campaign to a renewed push for safer driving.
High speeds along this stretch of Interstate 95 from Georgia through South Carolina can increase the cause for collision, according to AAA officials. As summer travel picks up, those officials are urging drivers to stay safe behind the wheel. This message is especially important for teenagers.
30% of fatal crashes involving teens occur through Memorial Day and Labor Day.
100 Deadliest Days of Summer, now known as 100 Days of Safe Driving. The period of time AAA spokesperson Garrett Townsend says brings a higher risk of crashes for teen drivers.
In many cases have just received their driver's license. They're just getting to the point where they're driving without their parents.
Inexperience, speeding, and phone use are leading causes of these crashes. For teens across the coastal empire and low country, summertime weather can create more risks.
We have those summer storms that roll in late afternoon and evening. Of course, as the roads get wet, that can increase the chances of a crash.
Some local responders are already seeing the impact. Over a single weekend this summer, Burton Fire District crews responded to 5 crashes. Officials say some involving teens, all resulting in injury. That's why Townsend encourages teens to commit to safe driving habits this summer.
Those habits include putting down your phone or putting it somewhere where it's not accessible, to focus on the road, to eliminate distracted driving, and then also to drive at the posted speed limits. And
reporting in Chatham County, Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Continuing coverage now, the city of Port Wentworth is trying to join Chatham Area Transit's tax district, but that request is being blocked by Chatham County leaders. The disagreement comes as the county says an ongoing legal battle between the county and the transit system needs to be resolved. At last week's budget meeting, a commissioner asked how much revenue would result from making Port Wentworth a permanent member of the tax district, but when the city manager attempted to speak on that request, Chairman Chester Ellis stopped the discussion from moving forward.
Port Wentworth has sent me a letter, all right, asking me that we do a resolution to allow them to join the transit district. I sent them a letter back saying that we're not going to do that until after the litigation is over, because that's a part of what's going on now. That's why I would not let them speak, because that's already in the attorney's hands.
The city says adding Port Wentworth could generate roughly $1 million annually for transit services. They also say the decision to block the request undermines CAT's mission to connect communities with the people and places they need. We reached out to both Chatham Area Transit and the city of Port Wentworth for comment, but have yet to hear back. Savannah city leaders are moving forward with discussions on a possible new parking garage at the Eastern Wharf. The $31 million plan would add hundreds of spaces to one of downtown's fastest growing areas. It would involve the city using bond financing, with future parking fees helping repay those costs over time rather than property taxes. Mayor Johnson says he's trying to avoid becoming a city of parking garages and instead wants to expand transit and other transportation options.
Trying very hard to get away from building parking garages. They're big, they're very, very expensive, and they really serve no other use but for parking. We have to help save Chatham Area Transit, but on the other end of it, really create other ways for people to create mobility around our city. We don't want to become a city of parking garages.
Now, the mayor was actually talking about expanding parking garages to other areas like Starland. So he says Eastern Wharf is different because the parking garage there has been a part of the development plan for years, and that other parts of the city present different space, cost, and neighborhood challenges. WSAV is your local election headquarters. Tomorrow, voters will head to the polls for South Carolina's runoff election to determine which candidates will advance to the general in November. So if you voted in the primary, you can only vote in the same party's runoff. If you didn't vote, you can vote for either party. And you must bring a valid photo ID to cast a ballot. Polls are open from 7 to 7. President Trump weighing in once again on South Carolina's Republican race for governor. Before the primary, he endorsed Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette. However, Trump has now changed his tune, saying he is endorsing both Evette and Attorney General Alan Wilson in the runoff. In a social media post, he says he hoped a runoff would come down to them, and he does not want to hurt one by endorsing the other, saying it's a wealth of riches with either one. You can't go wrong. That's a direct quote. And for more information on the races, you can head to WSAV.com/electionhq. The winner of the 2026 Savannah St. Jude Dream Home has now seen her prize. Nancy Woods of Beaufort is the winner. She brought her daughter Leslie along for the tour, and the team from Landmark 24 Homes showed them around.
Oh, how lovely.
Oh my God. Watch your step up there.
Beautiful.
Welcome in.
Oh, it's stunning. It was beautiful on TV, but it's even more beautiful in person. Yes, so you did a great job. This is probably the first time I've ever won anything. So in all my years, God saved this for me. We're just so excited. I think one of my grandchildren said, after hearing the news, he said, "Oh, what a blessing. I can't stop smiling." And I think that speaks for all of us.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, it's
Thank
just
you.
a blessing. And we're so grateful to St. Jude for all their work. Words cannot explain how beautiful this house is. It is stunning, truly stunning. Everything about it is just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Now, Nancy says her husband is having some health issues, so he was unable to attend the tour, but she wanted to make sure that we knew that he was very grateful and excited as well. They recently relocated to Beaufort from the upstate of South Carolina to be closer to family.